Well, hello there. I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year. And this is video 201 of 365. Thank you for being here. I thought we would talk about the old frog in the boiling water story. Basically, very simple story. The frog jumped into the water and the heat was on and felt really good for a while. And he's swimming around in there and feels like a great little hot tub until it boils him to death. So, how many times do we do that to ourselves where we're in situations that feel good at first and then they get kind of gradually worse and worse and worse? And pretty soon we're boiling and we're not taking care of ourselves. We're taking things out on people we love, taking things wrong internally. Maybe we're interpreting things wrong because we're boiling. So I want you to really think about that. What areas of life are you boiling in that maybe it's time to turn the heat off or maybe jump out of that pot and kind of start changing the way that you do things in your daily life? So remember that you are what you think about. So, and they say, they, whoever they is, they say that, the way you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're an overextender and you're in that boiling water, then you're probably doing that in a lot of areas in your life, if not all areas of your life, and possibly neglecting the areas that need some attention, which would be most likely, I'm assuming, that it's self-care that we all need. And part of self-care is making sure that your thoughts, we go back to those thoughts again, make sure your thoughts are in line with what you're wanting. Make sure that you're constantly never wavering away. You're constantly thinking of your desires and what you want instead of what you see outside of you and letting that control you. So we've got to be really aware of what we're doing with our thoughts, because if we don't program our minds, the past is going to program our minds every day. We're just going to show up in the present moment, but we're thinking from the past. So it's basically the past is kind of in the now. And that's why we're in that boiling water still. We don't even realize it. So we got to jump out of that pot. So how do we do that? It starts with a decision, and it starts with self-awareness. How am I thinking on a daily basis? How am I feeling about myself? What do I expect from others? What do I expect from myself? What do I expect from my life? What are my expectations in general about everything? Do an audit, an inventory of yourself and say, hey, am I actually doing the things I want to be doing? That's a good question. Are there any things that you are wanting to do, but you're waiting to do them? Or you're doing things you just simply don't want to be doing and you wish you could be doing other things? What would those things be? If you could have all the time in the world. I got a cat with the zoomies right now. She has done this 5 times today. I don't know what's going on with her. You might hear her claws on the floor, so just please ignore. There she goes. You might see her. That's Macy. Anyway, she's showing you how carefree animals are and how much we can learn from them. Unless they're in a boiling pot of water, we don't want to deal with all that. So we want to have the zoomies like Macy. In other words, we want to be like cats or dogs, whichever is your preference. And we want to be happy like them. In fact, I remember hearing Esther Abraham Hicks saying that we've got a lot to learn from the beasts of the world, because they are completely in the present moment at all times. They do not worry about anything but their own nature. That's all they worry about is themselves. And they know everything is taken care of all the time. So if we adopted what the beasts feel, like Macy's feeling over here, she's happy as a little clam. If we could just be like them and remember that they're our teachers too. They're trying to show us to stay as present as possible. Sorry about that, guys. I had to cut out the cat stuff that just happened. She knocked some stuff on the floor. And so, yeah, she's really teaching us how to be present today. Oh, man. So anyway, we've got to remember to stay as present as possible. We've got to remember to focus on only what we want instead of what we don't have. So look at your life and say, where am I lacking maybe confidence in myself? Or Where am I putting up with a situation where I'm just boiling myself? I bet there's a lot of you that are doing that out there. Some relationship or some job or some project you've taken on that you didn't really want to do, or some obligation that you just felt like you had to do to make somebody else happy. And I guess my question for you is, when are you going to make yourself happy? And when are you going to believe that you deserve to be happy? Because I'm telling you, you do. You're 100% worthy of happiness. And you get to decide what you design your life like. And even if you don't believe that, I'm going to give you my belief in you right now. You can borrow mine for a little while, or as long as you need to, because we can design our lives. We just haven't been taught that. And that, when I learned that, I was so excited, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can design my life in any way that I want. And so I've slowly over the years done that. And it's amazing what can happen when you shift how you look at yourself. You shift the way you look at your capabilities. You shift the way you even see yourself in the mirror. And you shift away from other people and into your own mind. And you start to only care about your own opinion, because your opinion is the only one that matters about you. And when we're focused outside of ourselves, we're focused on this 3D reality that is old. It's old news. It's like reading yesterday's newspaper that does not even matter anymore. It's old, chewed up bubble gum. It's the lemon you're trying to squeeze a lot of juice out of, and it's dry. We don't need to look at it anymore, because it's old evidence. And so now you want to create your own now evidence instead of the old evidence. And so you want to trust what's going on in your mind, because if you have a desire, that means you can have it. If you didn't have the desire, there would be no reason for you to even have it, because if you couldn't have it, does that make sense? If you have a desire, there is a reason for that. That means that you can have it. That means that there are the means out there to be able to get what you're wanting every single time, or the desire wouldn't even be placed in you. So we've got to remember that anything that you want, you're capable of having and doing and being. You just have to start kind of guiding your mind over that way, instead of where it's always gone into that boiling water where we keep ourselves stuck in our old thoughts. And when I say old thoughts, that can mean the thoughts from just 5 seconds ago, because 5 seconds ago is the past. 1 second ago is the past, technically. But we all have what? The now. We just need to worry about the now. Isn't that great? That's so much easier than thinking about the past, because the past probably feels achy sometimes. And that's way easier than thinking about the future, where we don't have any tools yet to get there. So we just have to worry about right now. And when you're in the now and you're present, there's nothing better than that, because you're actually living your life. You're not half living it. You're not jumping out of your body and doing your to-do list every day and then wondering why you're exhausted. It's because we're always on all the time. And that's one more thing to think about, is where am I keeping myself on all the time when I might need to be turning myself off a little bit and resting. Resting is not on our to-do list very much. So we almost have to put that into the schedule every day, like literally put rest on the calendar. Isn't that crazy that we have to do that? As kids, I'm sure we just wanted to play, but we took naps when we were young and all these things when we were really young, but we need those more than ever now. We need kind of nap time and play time and juice box time. We need all those things as adults. We've got to have some sort of treat. And we've got to rest our bodies and our minds. And I'm guilty of not doing that too, because the laptop is on all the time, because I love it and I have so much fun working and doing all the things I do. But I do notice sometimes I feel overextended and I'm like, I got to shut all this down and go to bed. And so we've just got to audit ourselves and say, where am I boiling where it could just jump out of this pot? So really think about that, and think about how yesterday's thoughts are still keeping you stuck in that pot. Like, what do you need to let go of that you could free yourself from this pot? So, and this pot is boiling. Remember, it's not a hot tub. It doesn't feel good. So we want to get out of that boiling water. Or you can turn the heat down to a reasonable temperature if you'd like. But most of the time, we just probably need to jump out of that pot and change the identity of ourselves, what we're identifying with, because you're going to see your whole life change from that. And that's the beauty of deciding to change, is you just make a decision and you align all your thoughts and actions and beliefs with that. And then you'll watch your outer circumstances change around you very simply. Everything just kind of falls into place. It's super cool. So yeah, just think about how are you like the frog in the boiling water? And I'll leave you with that tonight. You guys have a wonderful evening. I hope you're doing well today. And thank you so much for watching as usual. And if this helped you at all, please share it with somebody who else it might help. And remember, you are so loved. Pass that on to somebody who needs to hear it. And remember to appreciate yourself, because what you appreciate appreciates. And I will be back tomorrow. Bye.